In this version, I am once again, what's common in all of them is that I am being chased away from Faerie by an older / more powerful being whom I believe is intent upon killing me, on trying to kill me. In this particular one, there's a lot of doubt as to my perception. In this case, Bright is my literal brother, my older brother, who also corresponds to the Red God, although when I think of this version of Faerie, it's not ruled by the Red God, it's ruled by the Red Goddess, a goddess. So not a deity, but still, just to place it within my other truth narratives of this event, I'll say that my older brother corresponds to Peter Wiggin, corresponds to Bright in the ether, in real life, corresponds to the Red God in Faerie. The Red God being being what I've described and named as the Leviathan so far. So Bright would probably say after the fact that that he was just playing, he wasn't really trying to kill me, like he got out of hand, yada yada yada. There would be excuses made to the parents. But what I know is that I am forced to the edge of the world and feel I have no choice but to jump off. And I actually don't know while I'm falling whether or not he's chasing me, whether he's falling after me or not. But I do know that I felt unsafe enough being chased by him in the first place that I thought it was worth jumping off the world for. And jumping off the world, as I mentioned, it's into sort of like a magical abyss. Basically just a fall from 5-ness to 4-ness. And in this version, it doesn't even have to be, 4-dimensional to 3-dimensional. It doesn't have to have anything to do with dimensionality, just two universes, magical falling-based passage from one universe to the next. And so it just so happens that as a feature of this magical universe, I'm sorry, I saw a truck in the alley that kind of scared me and got me a little off track. I'm pretty aware, that it's like the middle of the night and I should be sleeping and a little bit anxious. Anyway, so like while you're falling, you can, is a state of like great fecundity. It's possible in this falling state to create, kind of whatever you can conceive of as you're falling. And I believed that I was being chased after by my brother. I didn't for sure know that if he was stupid enough to do that or reckless enough, but I thought he was, and I ended up being right. So what I did was I manifested this world. The world below came to life according to my the contrivances of my intellect. And this is where I'm focusing too much on this one strand of truth, because there's actually like another at least 2 or 3 that like span this little area that there's kind of like several kind of rounding off, curving, moving from one edge to the next kind of narratives. So I'm going to take some narrative liberty and just forget about this narrative with me and my brother Bright and my older brother who was chasing me, and just go to the kind of default de facto story, which is this. And this is just plain old straight up fact. Like, this is truth with a capital T that I have removed from a narrative context to become just like straight up, this is what happened. Okay, so what happened is I was falling upward off of Faerie and heading down toward Earth. As I was falling, I was planning ahead, trying to figure out what I could do to keep myself alive once I landed. So what I struck upon was a novel idea that my friend Riley at the Brook helped me really pinpoint how novel it was. The idea being individuality, the fact that there are individuals, the fact of identity, of multiplicity in personages. Such a very basic, simple concept that you would think it would be that probably, well above 99% of the people in the world take it for granted and don't even think of the fact that that we're all one person, and there's no particularly obvious reason, except to me, why there are multiple of us, why we're individuals. But there is, and the reason is that I wanted a world in which I could hide for as long as possible. I wanted a world where I could hide for as long as possible so that my brother could scour the world over and over, across great lengths of time, looking for me, and yet I would still remain hidden in the multiplicity, all the way until at the very end I would incarnate myself into this rolling, this machine of propagation. I would incarnate myself into it at the end, and I would just pray and keep my fingers crossed that by the time I got to that point,